PE1413. Can I ask everyone to set off electronic devices to flight mode or in the off position, please? I'd like to start with introductions. At the table we have our clerking and research team, official reporters and broadcasting services. Around the room we are also supported by the Security Office. My name is Margaret McCulloch and I'm the committee's convener, and I now invite members to introduce themselves in turn, starting here on my right.
Marco Biaggi, MSP for Edinburgh Central and Deputy Convener.
Alec Johnston, Member for North East Scotland.
Christian Allard, MSP North East Scotland.
From MSP Central Scotland.
John Mason, MSP for Glasgow Shettleston.
John Finney, MSP Highlands and Islands.
Thank you. The first agenda item today is a decision on our work programme. You're asked to agree to 1. Write to COSLA and the Scottish Government following up on our inquiries into discrimination faced by Gypsy Traveller people. 2. To write to the Scottish Government about our inquiries into women in work and having and keeping a home inquiries. 3. Seek an update and progress on the work of the advisory group on tackling sectarianism. 4. To conduct some initial work looking into the issues of female genital mutilation with a view to informing a potential larger inquiry. 5. To seek oral evidence from the Equality and Human Rights Commission on its work on public authorities' performance in respect of compliance with specific duties under the Equality Act 2010. And 6. To look into issues faced by single fathers and fathers who share custody. Do you agree?
Agreed.
Agreed, okay. Does anyone have any comments they wish to make on that? Or yes, John.
Thank you. I'm grateful that we've agreed to do the follow-ups to these inquiries. There's a lot of energy goes in, not least from the clerk and the supporting staff to these, and I think it's important that the recipients of our reports respond to them, and particularly with regard to the Gypsy Travellers, I hope to see positive engagement from COSLA on that issue. Convener.
The second agenda item is consideration of PE1413 on preserving marriage by Amy King. As the concerns of the petitioner were addressed during your scrutiny of the Marriage and Civil Partnerships Scotland Bill at stage 1, you're asked to whether you would like to close the petition or if you would prefer to take another course of action. Can I have comments, please? John, Alex.
Thank you, Convener. The members of the committee will be aware that I have certain, perhaps significant sympathies with the terms of this petition. And I hope the petitioner feels that myself and others on the committee have done what we could to ensure that these views were expressed during the stage 1 inquiry. I think it would therefore be appropriate for us to take the decision to close this petition at this time, so that myself and others would be free to take forward the views within the petition as is necessary or possible during the remaining stages of the bill.
Does anybody have any other comments they'd like to make, or are we happy to close the bill? The petition, sorry. Close the petition, yep. Yep, thank you. The third and final agenda item today is a discussion on the Scottish Government's response to your Women in Work inquiry. You're asked to note the response and agree whether to take any further action. Would any member like to comment on the report, please? John, and then Siobhan.
Thank you, Convener. Well, I'm grateful that we have a response. In relation to the flexible working, I'm a bit underwhelmed by the response in relation to that, and the government say, and I quote here, in addition, we will consider the potential for imposing a flexible work requirement in organisations receiving Scottish Government funding. I would have hoped for something considerably stronger than that. I think the government is in a position when it disburses public monies to make reasonable requests, and I don't think in this day and age that the full range of employment opportunities is an unreasonable request. I would hope to reflect on that. Perhaps it will be picked up in the procurement bill. If not, it should be, and it can be looked at. But I think we genuinely need to broaden the range of opportunities that are afforded people when public money is concerned.
For us then to write to the government raising these points?
That would be good, thank you.
Yes. Siobhan, do you have any comments to make?
It was just to say that, again, I was extremely disappointed with the response that the government sent back to our report, because we've taken a lot of evidence throughout many months to try and get a report that we thought was worthy, and to receive the response which we did, which basically reiterated the information the Minister had already provided, and didn't give us any more transparent headlines, really, other than to say that they will be doing something. So I would like more information and specifics on what the Scottish Government are doing, given the outcomes that we asked for, specifically around occupational segregation and the modern apprenticeship scheme, but also flexible childcare, specifically for those children with additional needs. It is reflected in the response that the Children and Young Persons Bill may be able to outline certain things that the government can do, but as yet that bill doesn't even mention disabled children, and so I feel that our report should have been given greater priority by the government, and I would like to see a greater response back rather than what we have at the moment.
Okay, so again we agree to write to the government raising the issues that Siobhan has just identified just now as well. Yeah, John.
I mean, I don't particularly disagree with the comments that have been made, but I mean, I think there are some quite good points in the government's response as well. And I was just noting on, I think it's page 2, quotes from Angela Constance: "She gave evidence to the committee occupational segregation is a challenge for Scottish society as a whole." I think that's very true. I mean, I think there are things the government can do, there are things local authorities can do, things we should all be doing. But there are some big issues out there that are underlying, and it's going to be, it's education, it's long-term change, changing people's attitudes. You know, there are some big challenges out there.
Okay, and Christian?
Yeah, maybe add on this and saying that it's a bit lacking of details. I will agree with Siobhan on this. I know some of the things have been happening, for example, in SDS, and we don't see here some of these details. So maybe we could ask some government some updates and knowing a bit more details of what the good work has been done.
Marco?
Thanks, Convener. I think after we've written, we will end up bringing the government back to discuss this again, and I think that will be very valuable, because it is good that we don't leave the report to sit on a shelf. So we can have that discussion when we have it. We'll bring the Minister in front of us again, and hopefully we'll be able to see some tangible signs of progress as well on all of these areas.
Okay.
So I'm quite content with what we've agreed.
Okay, so we all agree that the points raised by John, Siobhan and Christian, we will write to the Minister, and then, depending on the response, we'll ask for him to come to the committee again. Yes, agreed? Agreed. Right, thank you. That's all the items on the agenda, so I now close the committee meeting. Thank you.